Welcome back. Previously, we were discussing about one of the measures of central tendency, that is mode, and we have dealt in detail the concept of mode, different situation in which mode has to be computed, and we have discussed in detail how to find the value or the mode whenever the series or a question is given in individual series. So let us discuss the next two patterns, descriptive or discrete as well as continuous series. Next case, weight of 50 students are given below, find the mode. So weight of 50 students is given, and the number of students also is given. If you go to the question, you can see that these are the common weights that is appearing for 50 students, out of which 4 students are under the category of weight of 47, 10 students has a weight of 49, 20 students has a weight of 50. Likewise, that is the concept of this question. Weight of the 50 students are given below. You may think that 50 students and why there is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. You have to be very cautious. Here number of students, if you add together all these, you get the total 50. So out of 50, there are some weight. These are the common weights that appears for the 50 students. And how we are going to find the value of mode. So first of all, you need to understand that whether the series comes under individual, discrete or continuous. By the simple glance, you can see that it will not comes under continuous series, because in continuous series you have to deal with a situation where the class will be given. Here no such class is given, so it will not come under continuous series, and the remaining is individual and discrete. In individual series there will be one set of details, that is the x. Here it is two sets of details are given, and remember, whenever two sets of details are given, it doesn't mean that it comes to discrete series. You have to go through the question very cautiously and understand whether it is x and f. So by the simple glance you can see that here the weight of the students is the subject matter of the study, so it is x, and number of students can be considered as f, because f will always represent frequency. Frequency means the number of times that particular event happens. For example, here 47 is the weight appears for 4 students, that is, it is repeating 4 times. That's the concept. So this question comes under discrete series. And how to find the mode in case of a discrete series? As I have mentioned in the previous session, it is very simple. Just go through the values of the f and find the highest value in the frequency. Here the frequency is represented by number of students, and the number which is the highest in the series is number 20. So how we are going to find the mode? Here 20 is not the answer, because 20 is just a number for identifying the mode of a series, because mode always, mean median mode always will be in x. So here the 20 is highest value in the frequency. So 20 comes in the category where the value of x is 50. So the mode of the series is 50. So this is how you need to find the value of mode in case of a discrete series. I hope you understand the concept. Let us discuss some other cases. Find the mode. 5, 8, 10, 12, 29, 35, 40, 46. Here the size of a certain series is given, followed by number of items. You are asked to find the mode. So how we are going to find the mode? It is also very simple. You just need to find the biggest value in the frequency. First of all, you need to find which one is x and which one is f. Remember, number of items. this always represents the number of times the subject is repeated. Here the size is given as x and the number of items is considered as frequency. So just go through the frequency, find the biggest value. Here by the simple glance you can see that 40 is the biggest value. 40 comes in the series of numbers in which represent x is 12. So just go for the value in which the 12 appears, because 40 is the biggest value in the f. So on the base of 40, see for the value or go for the value corresponding to the 40 in the series x. So here the value of the series is 12. So the mode of the series is 12. I hope you understand the concept. Computing the value of mode in case of discrete series is very easy. You just need to find the biggest value in the frequency. Next one, find the mode of the following distribution. Next one, it is a continuous series situation because a class is given and frequency is also given. And regarding computation of mode in case of a continuous series, previously we have discussed that there is a separate equation for finding the value of mode, because the concept of finding the value of mode is almost similar to the discrete series. First of all, you need to find the biggest value in the frequency. So by the mere glance you can see that 180 is the biggest value. So 180 stands in the class where 35 to 40. So you have got the mode class or the mode value in which the mode will be there in the class of 35 to 40. So you can never say like the mode represent or mode is in the class of 35 to 40. You need to specify the exact number that comes within that class. That is how you have to always represent a measure of central tendency. You have to follow that concept in mean, median as well as mode. So the first step is just like in discrete series. First of all, you need to find the biggest value in the frequency. So here it is 180. 180 is in the class of 35 to 40. So in the 35 to 40 class, you need to exactly pinpoint the mode value. For finding out the exact value within that class, we are using an equation. So once you identify the frequency, you need to identify f0, f1 and f2. And for finding the value of f0, f1 and f2, it is very simple. Just do it like this. First of all, you need to find the biggest value in the frequency, that is 180. So give the value as f1 for this particular frequency. And we have learned that there is a value preceding f1, that is f0, and there is a value succeeding f1, that is f2. See the order 0, 1, 2. So it is just simple. So once you identify the frequency and the class, you need to identify f0, f1 and f2. Once you identified f0, f1 and f2, you just directly substitute the corresponding figures in the equation. So the equation for finding mode is L1 plus f1 minus f0 into C divided by 2f1 minus f0 minus f2. And we know what is in the L1 and also f1, f0 and f2, and at the same time C. So just substitute the values in the equation. Here the class is 35 to 40. So the lowest value in this number series or class is 35. So 35 is written first. 35 plus f1 is represented by 180. 180 minus f0 is represented by 100. 100 into C. C is the class interval. Class interval in simple terms, it means the difference between the higher and the lower value in a class. 40 minus 35, that is 5. So that is a C. Divided by 2 into f1. 2 into f1 is 180. 2 into 180 minus f0 is 100 minus f2 is 150. So now we have substituted all the values in the equation, and just by using the mathematical steps, you will solve this part into this 35 plus 400 divided by 110, and finally you will get 38.63. So we have already identified the mode will be there in this particular class, and for finding out the or pinpointing the exact value, we are using this equation. So the mode of this question or this class or this series is known as 38.63. So this is how you need to find the value of mode in case of a continuous series. Next one, a class is given just like the one which we have discussed now, a number of students, and please try to find here the first class the value is 2, so next one 3, 5, 4, and finally it is 1, and the answer of this one will be 18.33. Try to find whether you are getting 18.33. If there is any difference or any queries, please let me know. See, let us discuss some other questions. These are some of the examples or activities for you to try out. First one, here another question. It is also a continuous series session. Class is given, frequency is given, answer is also given. So it's very easy. Just try to find whether you are getting this value 66.78. Next question also, it is also in a continuous series, say 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15, 20, 20, 25. It is like this. So try to find this one also. And finally, another one, calculate mode of the following series. Class is given, frequency is given, and you are asked to find the mode. Here the answers is already given. Please try to find whether you are getting these answers. It is for your practice. And one more thing, we have now completed almost the methods and questions relating to mean, median as well as mode. And usually the class category or this type of question usually comes in case of continuous series. And regarding mean, it is quite easy, but when it comes to median and mode, we are using two equations, one for finding out the kind of value of median in case of continuous series, and one for finding the value of mode in case of a continuous series. And remember, in both cases we are using two different equations, and in both equations we are using a common variable that is known as C. C is a class interval. And remember, don't get confused when you come across a question like that. Sometimes you may given a class like this. So for example, if you see that the difference between these class will always will be the same. See, here it is 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 and 5. Sometimes you may come across a question where in any one of the class the difference will be another value. For example, here it is 0 to 5, 5 to 10, next one 10 to 15. Instead of 10 to 15 they might give 10 to 20. And likewise the class will be continuous, but in one of the class the difference will be quite different. And don't get confused, don't worry about it. You just need to identify the particular class and make sure you write down the difference of that particular class correctly. Sometimes the difference in that particular class will, for the example, sometimes the difference for that particular class may be 10. But if you go through the other items or other classes, you may find that difference will be 5. Then how I am going to write? Don't worry about it. Just go through the question, identify the class interval for which you have to apply the equation. Try to identify the particular difference in that class. Just substitute that difference in the equation. You need not have to worry about there is a difference in the class interval between the numbers or the classes given in the question. You need not have to worry about that. You just go through the question, identify the class interval, find out the difference, just substitute the value. Don't confuse by mixing the difference between different classes. I hope you understand the concept. In one of the cases you might see one such question. So try to find the answer and try to work out all these questions and make sure you are getting these answers as your values. If you have any issues, please let me know. We will discuss about the further cases in the coming session. Thank you. So whenever you come across a class like this, remember you may find that some of the class intervals the difference might be different. That is, if you see the difference in these classes, you can see that it is almost equal. Here the difference is 5, here also 5, here also 5. Sometimes you may come across a question where one of the class interval difference may be different. So don't worry about it. You just try to find the value or the class for which you need to substitute the equation. Find the difference between that particular class and substitute the difference in the equations. Don't confuse with the class intervals or the difference of another class with the selected class interval. So just go through it and try to find the answers of all these. Your answers is already given. Try to find whether you are getting the same answers as the values for your computation. So just go through it and we'll discuss about the further cases in the coming session. Welcome back. Previously we have discussed almost all the cases that comes under the mode. So let us discuss some of the theoretical aspects that comes under the same tool of measurement. Merits of mode. There is no method which can be considered as the perfect measure for measuring central tendency. All methods has its own merits as well as demerits. It's upon our discretion to select the method that suits our requirement. So let us discuss some of the merits of mode. Mode is a very simple because even a glance at the series is enough to locate the model value. It is a popular average. As you have gone through the concept regarding mode, we have dealt in detail that during individual series, it is very easy to find the value of mode because you just need to identify the value which is repeating more number of times. So it is very simple to identify the value of mode in case of a series by mere glance. That is the first merit. You need not have to do some mathematical equations or concept for finding the mode in case of an individual series. Mode is less affected by extreme values in the series. As we have studied earlier, mean and as well as median, we have come across a case that extreme values tend to have an effect on mean as well as median. It will have a huge impact on mean and not so quite issue in case of a median. But extreme values will not have an effect on computation of mode because in case of mode, we have learned that in individual series we will be taking the number which repeats more number of times. So in that case, extreme value doesn't matter because we consider only the number which repeats more number of times. And in case of discrete as well as continuous series, in that case we are considering the extreme value. On the basis of extreme value only we are taking the value of mode because in case of discrete as well as continuous series we are selecting or identifying the highest or the biggest value in the case of frequency table. So extreme values will have less effect in the computation of mode in case of any series. Mode can be located graphically because you just need to pinpoint various points given in the case in a graph so that you will get a figure where the curve or the line that goes to the topmost or the highest value will be the mode of that series. So it can be again identified very easily by drawing a graph. Next one, usually mode coincide with one of the values of the series. As we have gone through various cases, we have found or identified various values that may come within the series or that may not come within the series. Sometimes it may coincide with the values given in the question and sometimes it may not. So it doesn't affect the computation of mode. Mode is a value which occurs most frequently, so mode is the best representative. As we have learned in case of measures of central tendency, we are trying to find a representation. So in a series, if a number repeats more number of times, we can say that that number represents the entire series. So the same principle is followed in case of mode. In individual series, you are finding the value of mode on the basis of that particular number that repeats more number of times. So it is very easy to find the value of mode. even though it has its own merits, it also suffers from some of the issues within its concept. Mode is uncertain and vague measure of averages. It is ill-defined. As we have dealt in the previous sessions, in case of an individual series, we are identifying the value of mode on the basis of a number that repeats more number of times. And we also dealt with alternate cases where in an individual series you didn't find a number that repeats more number of times. In that case, we consider the mode as ill-defined. And for finding out the mode, in that case, we used another equation. So without that equation, our mode was ill-defined. That is one of the demerit in case of a mode, because a method has to be consistent with all the cases. So it is one of the case where mode cannot be always dependent. Next one, mode is not capable of further algebraic treatment. As I have mentioned earlier, mode is based on a number that repeats small number of times in case of an individual series, and a number that will be the highest or the biggest value in the series in case of a discrete as well as continuous. In all these situations, we can't use further algebraic methods for measuring or checking the consistency of the value of the mode. You will learn that computation part in the higher studies. Just for the time being, understand that you can't do further analysis on the value of the mode, because only through further analysis of the value you can measure the efficiency or consistency of that answer. That is the concept. Sometimes grouping is necessary to identify the model value. That is another important issue that comes under the mode. Sometimes you need to identify and group various numbers that are given in a series, because in case of an individual series, if the situation is ill-defined, you have to find the value of mean as well as median. For median, you need to make necessary steps for arranging the sequence in certain order. That is one of the demerits in case of a mode. Next one, mode is not based on all the values of the series. That is true, because in individual series, we select or identify the value of mode on the basis of number that repeats more number of times. So what about the number which does not repeat? How you are going to identify the number that does not repeat in a series? So that is one of the issue in case of a mode. If a number does not repeat more number of times, or a number which is smaller value, such numbers are neglected in case of a mode. So that is an issue. When the extreme value appears most frequently, the extreme value becomes the mode. That is true, because in the individual series as well as in a discrete as well as continuous series, in both the last two cases, that is discrete and continuous series, we identify the mode on the basis of the value that comes bigger in the case of a frequency table. So if it appears frequently, we will be selecting only that amount or that value. So in both situations, in the point where fourth point as well as fifth point, we are neglecting some other values that comes in that particular series. And a good average or a good measure is always represent and consider all the values in a series. So these are some of the demerits of mode. I have tried to bring about some of the important merits as well as demerits of mode. Please try to find more points and understand and study in detail, because you may sometimes come across a question where you might have to briefly explain the merits as well as demerits of all these steps. So in that situation, mere writing or pinpointing these 5 points will not help you in scoring more marks. These are just for your understanding and for as a part of an assignment. try to find more points regarding the merits as well as demerits of mod. So now let's go on to the next area. We have now almost completed mean, median and mode. So how we are going to identify which average is considered to be the best average? Because we have learned in detail the methods of mean, median as well as mode. And in these three cases also it has its merits as well as demerits. So which one is the best average? So first, before going into that, you need to understand what is the concept of best average, or what are the qualities for a tool to be the best average. The choice of appropriate average depends on the distribution of data and the purpose for which the measure is to be used. In simple terms, it means what is the concept or what is the meaning of identifying or using a particular tool for understanding the value of the series. So before you go into that, you need to understand that there are some essential properties that represent a good average. And in mean, median as well as mode, it has its essential properties to be a good average, but at the same time these or those methods are suffering from certain demerits. So let us discuss what are the properties of a good average. First one, it should be clearly defined. And all these three methods, mean, median as well as mode, it is properly defined and explained in detail what is the concept of these three methods and what is the purpose of these three methods. So a good average should be clearly defined. Next one, it should be based on all observations of the data. This is one of the important merit or a quality of a average or a tool, because a average or a tool or a measure to be the best, that particular method should consider all the observations of the data. I hope you understand the concept, all observations of the data, because during the discussion of merits and demerits of various methods, we have briefly explained this concept based on all observations of the data. So a good average should consider all the observations of the data. Next one, it should be easy to calculate and simple to follow. That is an important concept. Trying out heavy equations or complex equation doesn't mean that that average or that tool is a good one or a perfect one. A good average is very simple and easy to calculate. It should be followed by a common or a layman. Next one, it should not be influenced by sampling fluctuations. That is very important, because we might use mean, median, mode in different situations. If these situations keeps on changing due to various fluctuations in sampling. Fluctuations, it may be external fluctuations or internal fluctuation. In simple sense, it means if you are studying the price index of a particular market, the market may be fluctuated by the climate or the festivals or the economic situation of the country or the political situation of the country. So if you are using a method and if that method is influenced by such sampling fluctuations, then we can't rely upon that particular method. So a good average should not be influenced by sampling fluctuations. Next one, it should be amendable to further algebraic treatment. We have come across the same sentence in previous cases. Algebraic treatment means you might have used any one of the method to find the value of mean, mode or median, and you finally got the answer. So further algebraic treatment means in order to check whether your value is accurate or whether your value is or the answer is correct, you can use further mathematical methods to check the consistency of that answer. That is the meaning of further algebraic treatment. So a good average or a good measure is always amendable to further algebraic treatment. It is the most important property, that is, an average should not be affected by extreme values. And previously we have discussed in number of cases where what is meant by extreme values and how a extreme value affect a particular method. I am not explaining that case again and again. So a good average should not be affected by extreme values. So on the basis of the properties which we have discussed now, we can consider that arithmetic mean to be the best average, because almost all the points are satisfied in case of an arithmetic mean. And at the same time, we can't say that arithmetic mean is the world's best perfect method, because it also suffers from some demerits. But when compared to mean, median and mode, we can say that arithmetic mean is the best average. It is simple to understand, it is well defined, because there are no much complication while using individual series, discrete series as well as continuous series. There are no heavy equations for finding the value of mean in case of discrete as well as continuous series. It can be determined in almost all cases. It is capable of more algebraic treatment. Regarding the algebraic treatment, we will be dealing in that area, means regarding the further algebraic treatment situations in the higher classes. For now, you just need to understand that you can go further algebraic treatment in case of a mean. And next one, it is based on all observations of the data, because you will be considering all the values that comes in the x as well as f. It can be located even without arraying the data. Arraying the data means you need not have to arrange the numbers given in the question in ascending or descending order. That is why great relief in case of computation of value in case of a mean, because in case of median as well as mode, in some situation you need to make necessary arrangements. So arranging a certain numbers in ascending or descending order is known as arraying data. And finally, it is stable and it does not differ from sample to sample when sample selected is sufficiently large. That is, arithmetic mean is considered to be the best. It has become an average of everyday life, and it is used in many socio-economic problems as well as many statistical as well as financial analysis studies. So these are the various theoretical aspects relating to the measures of central tendency. So just go through all these concepts. We will be discussing about further theoretical aspects as well as problem oriented aspects in the further classes. That's all for today. Thank you.